Yes, I went by Dunkin' Donuts this morning. Just want everybody to know. Had a good time. I just want to let you know, I have a tooth. I had a tooth pulled, and it's still like weird, you know. So I put some of this medicating stuff on it a while ago, just like now. So my right side of my tongue's going down. And it feels like my whole right side's going down. So it'll come back to me in a minute, but it sounds a little funny. We will get there. We will get there. Hope you have fun in the snow. I really do. Oh, y'all can't be looking at look at that bag. Hope y'all had fun in the snow. My daughter rode the four-wheeler the whole day, which was good. I like that part. Well, we're going to talk about chasing carrots today. Now, what's the saddest part you will see today is that you think there's a donut in here and it's a carrot, okay? So that's the sad part. Now, chasing carrots, let's talk about that just for a minute. You've seen this out, like you have a mule walking around and you're trying to get to it. You see that? If you want your teenagers to do this, put an iPhone 11 on the end, and they will walk. They'll do whatever you tell them to do. They really will. But one of the things we're going to talk about, and Jesus talked about it too, is making sure we have the right, when we're talking about carrots, we're having the right stuff. We have the right carrots in our life. And you do possess some carrots. You don't know exactly what they are yet, but we're going to find out as we get into this. So the idea is that it's the endless pursuit. Let me get over here so you can see. It's the endless pursuit of more. So what we'll do is excuse me, I hit the wrong button. Hold on a minute. Hang on. Okay, here we go. It's the endless pursuit of more is what it is. And try to figure out what that is and what the more is in your life. That's what you're going to have to think about. And so what is it that when I'm looking at carrots, and that's what means the most to you, these carrots we're talking about, what means the most to you. So you have to figure out what that is. Now, I used to work out a lot in a gym. I used to work a lot, and as you can tell, I still, but it was really funny. If you've ever been to the gym, you know how the guys are? Everybody wears a tank top, right? You know what? And then they're really like making noises and that kind of thing. And you have to have mirrors because you have to watch those, because what we're pursuing here is more muscle. That's what you're trying to do. So I was watching this guy, and he looked really good. He was good. I don't know what he kept coming back, kind of thing. I was embarrassed, the whole thing. Used to you go in front of a mirror and you kind of like, do your guns, There used to be guns. Now they're more like firecrackers, okay? Okay, so here we go. We got guns going, and they're blazing and everything, and you're doing your little deal, and they're huffing and puffing, and then you hear them screaming. So you have this one guy. I don't know why he came back to the gym. So he's over there, and so he's looking at himself in the mirror. You know how this goes, right? So what he's looking at is is this working? Is this muscle building thing working? So he walks up, and he puts his leg up like this in the mirror, like this right here. And he's got his little thing, and he goes like this. Gah! And he watched his leg shake. He did it. Bah! And that leg, what he was doing was I wanted to see how big that muscle was when I, pow! So his thought here's one of his carrots was that I'm going to make bigger muscles. And so whatever that is, that's kind of what he was doing. Now, you would say that is crazy. Now, well, hold on a minute before we go crazy. Let's talk about some carrots first, okay? So some of you, if you looked at what you really think is important, now here's what's interesting about the carrots. Some of you are actually chasing something you really want, but you never can get to it because there's other carrots in the way. You know what I'm saying? And see, what happened in the New Testament, Jesus talked about his carrots. The two things you should be chasing, he said, I'm going to give them to you, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So some of you may be chasing a 2-carat diamond. It's possible. That's supposed to have been funny. Am I the one having to do this? Okay. 2-carat earrings? 1-carat necklace? Here's what I'm saying. We don't really know, I think, sometimes what we possess when it comes to carrots and what we think we love and what we don't love. And then here's what I would ask you, because you're in church, right? We'd say, you love God? You say, yes, I love God. I love God. Well, we're going to find out because your carrots will tell you what you love and all those things. And you say, I love people. Well, the carrots will tell you what you possess, those kinds of things. So there was a verse that you'll have to look at with me. And when Jesus talked about the carrots, it comes down to this. Defining them more. What is it that we love? What is the chasing? What are we chasing and why? Why do we have this thing in our life? Why do we have this? That's going to be the question as we walk in. What carrots are in our life that we already possess? And the question would be, is that should we have those? Because you keep chasing something that's out here, but this carrot won't let you get there. So we have to figure out why we have these things in our life. And what are the carrots you possess? So, and then you say, well, you have to think, well, I have this, I have whatever it is you think you have. What is it that you actually love is where you put all your energy and all your money and all your time to. Did y'all know that? So what your carrots are is where you put your money, your time, and your energy. That's your carrots. Everybody got that? So then you can reevaluate what you think you like and what you think you love based upon the carrots you already possess. And this is what Jesus was trying to tell us. Because I don't think we really get what we're doing with these carrots. Because spiritually, I hear this a lot, spiritually in the church, I hear a lot of, I love God, I love people, but I'm not really sure if you know that. Because your life and your carrots that you possess, actually say something else other than I love God and I love people. And I think that's a good thing to do those two things. It's really easier. Now, I'm going to show you this. It's really easier if you do this. Now, this is the 2K. Let's do this. This is the 2K life, the 2-carrot life that Jesus talked about, okay? So I'm going to read the verse. I'm going to show you something. Jesus replied because they asked him, what should we do? Have you ever had that question? As a Christian, what should I do? Well, I need to love my neighbor. I love care about people. I don't need to cuss. I don't need to, hold on, just stop a minute, okay? All you that the worst sinners in the world, just hang on a minute. Let me see if I can help you with your carrots, okay? Because you punish yourself based upon what you do and what you don't do, and you don't even have the right carrots to even talk about it. You see, we give our heart to Jesus Christ, and He changes our life, but we don't know what to do from there. We really don't. And we think it's based upon, if I didn't say the right thing, or I did the right thing, or I shouldn't have said this, or I shouldn't have done that. You just need to listen today, because we're going to get the right carrots. And we're going to move that way. So here's what Jesus said, because they were asking him. There's so many things that we have to do right. And Jesus said, if you love me, keep my commandments. You remember that? So he said, do that. So what were they? Well, I'm going to give them to you. There were 2 carrots. And here's what he said. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart. Now, we're just going to do that part today. Okay? We're going to do that part. And with all your soul and with all your mind, this is the first and greatest commandment. First of all, I need you to love God. Would everybody say you basically love God? You think, okay, good. We'll know in a minute, okay? We will know because of these. This is why he said this, because some of you don't know. I think you want to love God, or you say, I love God, but I don't know if he knows that. And that's going to be the question. I don't know if he knows that. Now, you know he loves you, right? Because he made it very clear that he sent Jesus Christ, his son. He said, I have done this. I have demonstrated my love toward you. So you know what I did. You know I have demonstrated my love toward you. And what he is asking in this carrot is this question. Have you demonstrated your love toward him? And there's a way to know this. And there's a way to know as we walk through. Now, this was the first one. He said, this is the first greatest, this one here. Now, this was interesting. Watch this. And the second one is like it. Watch it real careful here. Listen very carefully. Forgive me. Tone's coming back. The second one is kind of like the first one. Okay, that's why he said this. It's kind of like, you say, well, do I love God like I love people? No, you don't. It's different. And this is the problem with the carrots. This is the problem where people have when they accept Jesus Christ. What is next? We all love God. We all be excited, everything. But demonstrating love toward God and demonstrating love toward people are 2 different ways. 2 different carrots, and he explained both carrots. And then I'll show it to you. He said, but it's like the second one. This second one is like the first, but it's different. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now watch this. All law and the prophets hang on these 2 commandments. If you could just do these 2 carrots, then you won't worry about if I said the right thing or the wrong thing. Because that's immaterial to these 2 things. Am I doing the right thing? Am I being the right person? Am I a good dad? Am I good? Do this right here. He said, and everything else, watch this. He said, everything else will fall under here. You don't have to worry about being good or being bad or being this or being that. If you stick to these 2 carrots, it will change everything. Now, the problem is you're going to start out really well and something's going to happen. This is what always happens in an exercise program. It also happens if you're going to, this year I'm going to do, I don't even know if you look at where you are and what you set up for this year, what your goals are. I don't know if the God carrot or the people carrot actually came into play with what you want to do this year. I don't know. We're going to find out when we get to the end. But something's going to happen. And you're going to decide to quit or you're going to decide to go on. But remember, everything we do hangs on this. I don't have to worry about being good, bad, or ugly. I do these things, and it changes everything. Love God and love people. You've heard it, but it's not the same. It's like it, but there's 2 different ways and 2 different carrots happening, and that's why he put these 2 things separate. And most people have never heard it and never seen it, but we're going to get there. Let's talk about you just got messed up. You want to? Let's say you're going to try to do the right thing. We'll see what happens. You want to do that? So love God, love people. These are the J2K. Can y'all say J2K? J2K. That's pretty good, isn't it? That's all you got to remember. If I'm going to be a good Christian, these are J2K. Has everybody got it? If I'm going to love God, J2K. You do these things, and the rest of your life will fall in order. Because he said everything else falls under it and will hang in there. Love God, love people. How do we do that? The problem is you're going to start out really well, and something's going wrong. Is that good? Is that what happens? Something goes wrong. It always goes wrong. And I'll give you a verse that says it always will. Okay? So here's the problem with this. Here we go. We come to God and we got carrots now. Here's the first thing that happens. I don't know why I'm doing that. It must be the drug thing going on. I don't know what's happening. You got 2 carrots. All of a sudden you accept Jesus Christ in your life. You change your world. I love God and I love people. Now I have 2 carrots. And all of a sudden, I'm doing the right thing. And as soon as you do the right thing, something's going to happen. Do you know it? Do you know it? So what we did was set this up. I'm going to set this up for you. Morale is over here. This is what you feel. Okay? So I'm going to walk back and forth. This is what you feel. And this is the time you have to deal with it. How long do you deal with how you got hurt? How long do you deal with it? Because what we're looking at is resilience and perseverance as a Christian. Because we know the 2 carrots. See, some of you get taken out so quickly. You say, I'm gonna live for God, and something goes wrong. And you say, well, why? And we're going to talk about that. Why does this happen? Why is this happening to me? And the first thing is that you deny. It's denial. I can't believe that this happened. Watch this. You want to hear this one? Somebody decides, let's say you're going to try to tithe for the first time. It's 10% of your income, or even give something. I don't know. You're going to give something. And all of a sudden, you decide you're going to give, and guess what happens? Your car breaks down the same week. Because here's what you're thinking. Here's what you're thinking. If I tithe and give to God, he's going to give me 10 times more than I gave him. And now my car just broke down. And here's what you're going to do. Well, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought everything was supposed to be going good. I have given my life to Jesus Christ, and now I'm giving God money to God, and now my car breaks down. What is all that about? Life. Do you know that nothing lasts forever? It's not supposed to here. You know, everybody got that? And so, but here's what happens. You have to decide, well, I can't believe it happened. Next thing, you get mad at. Now, who are you mad at now? You mad at the car or you mad at God? You're probably mad at God. You know what you're going to say? I ain't never going back to church. I'm never going to talk to God again. I gave him some money, and now look what happened to me. I know it. It's because you don't know what carrots you have. You see, you're all messed up with the carrots. You don't know what you got. And here we are trying to figure this thing out. Now you're mad. You're mad. And now you're mad at everybody. Nobody wants to be around you right here. You know? And then it's really the way it works. Then you start bargaining with him. And maybe you bargain with your car. God, if you'll just crank, I will get your oil changed, I promise. I will change your oil. I will check that hair in your tires, I promise. You know, and you start bargaining. Then you do this thing with God. Okay, God, so now I've gotten hurt because you're on track, and all of a sudden you decide, and we're going to talk about some steps next week when we move out of the comfort zone into faith, because most of you will never trust God. I'm going to try not to get in next week. Most of you will never trust God unless you have to. Has everybody got that? There will be no Indiana Jones. Those people do not do Indiana Jones because I don't see it. And that's why you don't live in faith. And you don't know what he can do. But that's next week if you want to come back. Hopefully it won't snow. So we just bargained with him. What did you say? God, if you get me out of this, y'all love this one. If you get me out of this, I won't do it. I won't do it again. I don't know what that means. My car never break down again. I don't know what you're bargaining here. But this is what happened. You did the right thing and something went wrong. You can almost count on it. Because something's happening for you that you don't know about that God's doing. Because you accepted Christ, right? So God wants you to be resilient and persevere. And the only way that happens is trouble. You don't get better when everything's good. It's when things go wrong. How do you respond to that? Now you just experienced it because you came to Jesus Christ. Everything's supposed to be right. Look what happened. And now you're just, God doesn't love me no more. You ever been there? I pray and you don't hear me. I talk to you, you don't hear me. God, you don't love me no more. I'm just, woe is me. God has forgotten. Really? There is no way that he will ever forget you. He's not going to send his son, Jesus Christ, demonstrate his love to you, on the cross, die for you, bleed to death, buried and raised on the third day. You think he's going to forget about you? You got to be kidding. Okay, this is all you because you don't have the right carrot. And now you're all mad. Poor thing. We're going to help you. Then here we go. And then, okay, all right. Maybe it wasn't your fault, God. Maybe the car broke down on its own. Maybe it wasn't your fault. You have to decide at this moment what you want to do. Now, I don't know how long you're going to stay in this. It goes like this. It goes denial, anger, and despair. I don't know how long the resilience says I move quick. But you can't move quick if you never experienced this with God. You may have experienced it in life by yourself, but you've never experienced it with God because you don't know what he's going to do because you're not going to pull the Indiana Jones. You're not going to trust him unless you have to. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants to step out in faith, especially when it comes to your treasures. You don't want to step out in faith. And so here we are at this acceptance part, and we decide, you know what? Not going to let it bother. I'm not doing it. I trust God. I believe God. I know he can. Now, I don't know how long it took you. Some people leave church back right here in the despair part. Some of you leave God, you leave church, you love people. You leave people, somebody's got to get it. Because you're getting it. It's because you don't have the right carrots. And then that last one is that you learn to thrive, and then you realize what will happen the next time you do the right thing. And this goes wrong. You will be ready. You'll know, oh, this is part of it. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do something good for God. I'm going to do something good with my life. I'm going to change my world. I'm going to go for the carrots he asked me to go for, and something's going to go wrong, and I know it will. But you will never, listen, this will change. Resilience, look at this. Resilience is the catalyst. Y'all have to realize this. Resilience is the catalyst that increases the speed in which we move through barriers. We are going to have barriers to move through in order to grow up and move the kingdom of God. Because you're not doing Indiana Jones. We got that. So other things will be created. Life itself will be created. How fast can we move through some of the difficulty? All of a sudden, I thought I was doing all the right things, and then something went wrong. How long will it take for you to get back? Because it matters to God that you get back, because the kingdom of God moves through his people. Being in despair is not what he is after. He's trying to grow you up and make you strong. Persevere and resilience is what we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about. There were 600 inner city kids. They did a 30-year study on 600 inner city kids. And they had to figure out, why did some make it and why some didn't make it? Because their circumstances were bad. Has everybody got this? So here's what you have to think about. So my circumstances are bad. I don't know if you came from inner city or whatever, but there were 600 kids, 30-year study, and some of them made it and some did not make it. And so they discovered a locus control, that's what it's called, inside of us, a locus control inside of us that says that my circumstance will not define me. I will decide what my future is, not my circumstances. You see, that's resilience. Saying, I will decide what I will do with my life. I will choose the right carrots no matter what's around me. See, some of you are taken out so quickly when things go wrong. It's because you're not choosing the right carrots. Think about your exercise program. How long does it take before you get knocked out of that? How long? I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know. It's like if you were to add up your carrots, what's the most important things to your heart? That's what he's talking about. This is what we're talking about with these carrots. We're trying to figure out what's the most important thing that is close to our heart. And so I don't know what you decided was close to your heart this year. But if I ask you the spiritual question, you would say, well, if God's close, I love God and I love people. And what I'd have to ask you is, well, let's just lay the carrots out and see what we got. Is exercise important to you? Then it won't be on the end. It would be at the front. You see what I'm saying? So if God's important to you, he's not going to be on the end. Now, some of you, I don't think God's even in the carrots with you. That's what we're going to talk about. I don't think he's in the carrots. But these people, these kids, decided my circumstance is not going to decide what I do. It's not going to make me who I am. It's not going to define me. So we have to realize that looking at that. Now, this is a little kid story about I'm going to hunt a bear. Now, in the story, this is what's interesting. In the story, they have like several things they have to deal with, whether it be mud, whether it be wheat field, or whatever it is. And this one here, it happens to be a river. And here's what it says in the story. It said, it's wide and windy and wet. Is that a river? Yes, that's a river. Now listen, watch this. I can't go over it. Watch this. Can't go under it. So what should I do? Let's go through it. This is exactly what the Bible tells us to do. So you would avoid any kind of trust whatsoever if you didn't have to. And so some of you would rather get away from the pain than go through the pain. But it's going to come back. Why not go through it and do what the Bible tells us to do? Consider it pure joy. This is so amazing here. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. Now, let me come over here. Now, this word right here, consider, this is Koine Greek. I took Greek in college. I don't recommend any of that whatsoever. But this consider, this is something, when they translate words, it's hard to get exactly the meaning, okay? So, consider actually means it is the truth. I take it as the truth. This is what it is. So it is the truth to have pure joy, my brothers. It is the truth that whenever you face trials of many kinds, let me say this. There's no if in this. Does everybody hear what I'm saying? There is no if. It's whenever. It's coming. You're going to face it. But if you know the care, if you're J2K, things change for you. Because does a car affect the J2K? That's what you have to think about. Does a car affect that? Does a house affect that? I don't know. We're going to find out when we get to these carrots. Because he said, I want you to think about this, consider it as it being the truth to you, that you will face these things, and you will have to go, you cannot go over them or under them, but you'll have to face them and go through them, because that's when this happens. You want to see what happens? I'm going to step right on out there, right there. You ready? Y'all would love to see that, wouldn't you? Well, I'm not Indiana Jones today. I'll be one next week. But this is what he's talking about. So he says, you do that. And he said, many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. The testing of your faith. A test is not there to make you fail, but help you pass. Listen, a test is not supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be good. And this is what he was talking about. He said, whenever you face trials of many kinds, let me write this. All right? Whenever you face trials of many kinds, before you know that, the testing of your faith produces perseverance, which is resilience. Would you say you're resilient? Does every little thing knock you off your feet? So so we go back to J2K. Go back to J2K. Love God and love people. Love God. Okay, so I got all this. I got all this. So I'm going to love God and love people. So really, everything comes down to these two, right? So everything should be working toward that, not to the end of that. Does that make sense to you? So Night to Shine was a beautiful thing, by the way. Thank y'all for helping with that. And y'all go ahead. That was beautiful. For that night, some of you moved the carrots up front. You know what happened? You say, I love God, love people. Well, it's not in the same row, but for that night, you moved it up. And you wonder why things are not working out. It's because you're not J2K. Because you got so many things working that are not to these carrots, and I don't even know if they're in your life, but they feel good when you get to do them. But I don't even know if they're there. So you have this J2K thing going on. You have all that. And here's how God put it. These two things are the hardest things to deal with. Either your treasure decides your heart or your heart decides your treasure. See, for most of you, your treasure is deciding your heart. Now, what happened here, this is exactly what God was talking about. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Just asking where these are. Let me tell you something that happened. I'm a member of a golf course. And by the way, let me tell y'all something. My nose is running off. Okay. Carrot? Okay. I am crazy today. I had too much of something. I don't know. Let me tell you this. I'm a member of a golf course, and I actually called them this morning. Because I ain't played so long. I'm like, I said, can I play golf today? They said, well, you have to come out at 2 o'clock. I said, perfect. I got all my heaters. I'm ready to go, you know. But it's $75 a month, and that's a weekly rate because I work on the weekends, right? Okay. So I have the weekly rate, $75, and I get a pool, which is great for the kids in the summer because we drop them off and I go play golf. It's a beautiful thing. So anyway, I'm there. So this guy that I know, he's been a member for a long time, I'm talking to him, and he said, well, I'm having to give up my membership. Now, let's talk about the carrots. Watch this. Now, he said, I'm having to give up my membership. I said, why you have to give a membership? And he took me over and he said, because of that. And it was a new truck. What happened? What happened? I went, oh my God, golf? See, I'm like, I'm going to drive as old a car as I can that will run because I want to play golf and I want to take my family to Dollywood. Do you understand what I'm saying? So my carrot's not a new truck. Okay? But his carrot is, and so golf got pushed completely out of there. Because what happened was, what happened? Watch this. So if golf was here, then the truck moved over. This is what I'm talking about. So all of a sudden, the truck was closer to his heart than golf was. And so what I'm saying to you with this verse, this is what he's asking. How close am I to you? When you say you love God and love people, and those are two different things. He said they're kind of similar, but you love God by your treasure goes first. That's what he sees. That's the demonstration toward him. So really, how much do we love God? Because when you say something like this, my heart is with the kids, then what you're saying in here, how God understands it, is that then my money go to kids because that's where my heart is. See, what God's looking for is a demonstration from his children that the truck's not in front of it. See what happened? He's looking for that. So we have all this stuff. I would just ask you, where's the carrots? Where's the one? Where is he? So he's asking this. Now let me tell you what I would say to all of you. Many of you would love. Now I hear you. I would wish I had the money to pay off marathon. I wish everybody was wanting to win the lottery. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. But just win that lottery. That's wonderful. Pay it off. But all of you would really love to be able to give money back to God, would you not? You would really want to do that. And I know that. But the problem is you're financially strapped because you have all these carrots that are more important. Did y'all know that? That's what happened. That's what happened to the golf course. It was a sad day when I saw that carrot go away for him. I'm like, that's not how I see it. What I'm saying is you have so many other things that are in front of those two J2K, but you really want to. And you really love what God's doing, and you really love marathon, you really love people, but your demonstration of that is not what's happening because you got other things. And see, this is what God is trying to tell you. See, I need to know from my children that I'm really what you love. See, you need to keep God close to you. Would you not say that's a good thing? You really need to keep God close to you. And here's how I would do it. You're not prepared for this. I don't know if you even talked about it in the new year. Most of you are not even prepared to do anything that I'm telling you. And as soon as you do this, we're going to go back to the other carrot, and something's going to go wrong, and then you're going to get mad. Does everybody understand that you're going to have these problems? You understand that? What I'm asking you is what you really love. That's what we're asking today. That's what God, those 2K, J2K, that's what he's asking. If you really love God and you really love people, then those things are going to be pushed toward the heart. Not at the end. Not at the once a year. This is what I'm telling you. And he said, if you would push those carrots toward you and move them toward your heart, then everything's going to work out. All the other things will fall under that. Everything changes for you. Now, I'm not going to be able to help everybody today because we're going to be doing this next week. But here's what I would say to you. You need to take a step somewhere toward him. Let me read this to you. Give your treasure to God to keep him close to you, because that's what he said. That's the number one thing. Here's what I hear from most people. I don't give my money, I give my time. Then you don't love God. That's what he said. I hear that so much in church. I'd rather give my time, not my money. That's not what he said. That's what you said. Because here's what happens. Give your time to people to move them close to God. Time is to people. Treasure is to God, because he needs to know where you are with him. And you need to know where you are with him. Those are the carrots that Jesus talked about, those two. All right, so let's go back to the carrots and we'll be done. Of course, we could stay longer. This is the only service. We can stay longer. So let's go back to the carrots. So, all right. Do you love God and love people? Then I want you to figure out, then you have these two, right? Or is there something here? What's over here? What's over here? I don't know. I don't know if he is somewhere down here. Because I think, now he already demonstrated his love toward us. What he's asking is, will his children demonstrate their love toward me? That's what he's asking. Because he doesn't want anything in front of him. He wants you and him to be close. And right now, some of you have too many carrots in the way. So I don't think, here's me. If a new truck for me calls me not to be able to give and to recognize God as number one in my life, then I can't have it. That's just the carrots for me. The reason I don't drive new vehicles isn't because I can't afford them. It's because it's not the carrot. I'd rather help people. I'd rather give to God. I'd rather do stuff with my family. I'd rather go to Dollywood. I'd eat brownies every day. All that stuff, because that's my carrots. Here's what I'm saying to you. I think some of you are chasing carrots. They're not what you want to chase, but you are. And I'm trying to help you. Your world will change if you go to J2K. Your world will change. Next week, we're going to do the Indiana Jones. We're going to step out there. What we got for you, I want to help you real quick. I don't just want to tell you, you need to give. You do. I mean, if you love God, that's what you do. If you love marathon, you can't say my heart's at marathon, you're not giving to it. I'm just telling you what he's telling us. You have to think like that. So how do I get this thing fixed? Now, Financial Peace is coming Wednesday. They have a table out there right now. Some of you need help because what I just told you, it's not in your carrots. Do you know what I'm talking about? You haven't thought about it? How to make this happen. This is not going to happen overnight. And as soon as you try to do some of this, it's going to be bad for a while. Because that's the way God works, so he can grow his children up. I learned the hard way about the carrots. And everything else falls under. All right, stand with me, if you would. I want you to persevere and be resilient as a person. And if you move to the 2 carrots, you will. You will. Nobody likes to talk about money in church, and I'm not really talking about money. I'm talking about what do you love is what I'm talking about. That's what he's asking me. He's asking me the same thing I'm asking you, and I have to check the carrots every now and then. Because I see this extra money, I could just really do something really nice with that, and I'm thinking, is that really what I want to do? Is that where I really want to put? If we got music, go ahead, start it. Here's what I give to Compassion International. I'm just telling you my stuff. Y'all do whatever you want to do, okay? My stuff is I give to Compassion International. That's a car payment. Does that make sense? I take care of 3 kids that I don't even know I get letters from, but that's my thing. That's my carrot. I want to help people. And then I want to give, then a tithe marathon. I'm going to move the kingdom, help people, help not to shine. All those things are my carrots. If golf got in the way where I could not afford $75 a month down there, then I would get rid of that carrot in a heartbeat, because that's not what I live for. What I live for is you, straight up. And nothing's going to take me away from those carrots. And I'm telling you, it's the most wonderful ride you'll ever have, watching God do things. Look in here today. After snow, look at all y'all. Isn't it crazy what God can do? It's wonderful. All I'm saying is that you need to check the carrots. You can't say I love something and you don't give to it. In anything you do. You can't say I love Compassion International and don't put my money there. You can't do it. What you love is where you put your treasure. Everybody got it? Okay, I'm going to quit fussing and preaching or whatever I'm doing. I'm trying to help you. All right, here we go. Let's pray. Father, thank you so much for today. Thank you for the people that are in this room. I just pray, Father, that we will figure this out for you so that we know for sure that you are number one in our life and that we really love people. That's what I want to do. I pray, Father, that we will make decisions and we will get help. We'll do all that we need to do to move the kingdom of God and have the best life possible on this earth. This morning, I want to ask this question. The first step to even obtaining the carrots is accepting Jesus Christ. So this happens every week. And if you'd like to accept Jesus Christ into your life, not going to make you raise your hand, make you come forward right where you are. We had this happen last week. If you want to accept Jesus Christ in your life, pray this prayer with me. Jesus, I ask that you come into my life and change me. Make me a new person. I want to follow you. I ask that you forgive me of my sin. Forgive me for not following you sooner. I believe you died for me. I believe you rose from the dead. Thank you for hearing my prayer and changing my life forever. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, somebody just got 2 carrots. J2K. That's a beautiful. If you accepted Christ, we have people that love to talk with you in the back. So please do that. All right, guys. We're going to do Indiana Jones next week. Y'all good? Y'all come back. I'll see y'all.